Hi there, it's Shell, and today we are going to do something that I saw on Pinterest as well as something that I kind of made up um, from seeing this idea. So I just wanted to kind of share this with you guys. Today will be the 10th day of our little series, and in the final day of this particular series, though I will be doing like tag series, so just maybe a week full of just tags or a week full of paper clips, fold spots, things like that. So be sure and hit that subscribe button and stay with me if you haven't. So here are some things I'm going to set aside, but I wanted to kind of show you guys these. And I love this paper stack, so we're going to use this today. And some punches. I'm not going to use my sewing machine today because I know some people don't have sewing machines. And sometimes it's just nice to show something that everyone can do. You know, whether you have a sewing machine or not. Sorry. You guys know I set up in the living room, and sometimes my little desk space gets overtaken by husband and cats, and so I should have kind of cleaned it up before I started. But I've been thinking about this for a little bit, and I couldn't take a nap today. I usually take a nap because it doesn't matter what time I go to bed. I always wake up by 4 o'clock every single morning. And so usually about 2 or 3, I'm just exhausted and I'm falling asleep. So I try to take a nap, but Daddy's little boy, the little bitty bear, is not feeling good. So I like to sleep on the couch, just nap on the couch. I think it doesn't, put me into that after nap feel. And it's just, I've always liked that, but his little bear is laying on the couch, and I do not have the heart to move him, so I'm going to forego my afternoon nap. It shows you guys how lazy I am. But, I have to be lazy during the winter because during the summer, I don't have a chance because we're so busy with work. So let me show you what I'm doing. I am cutting down. These are some return addresses, and I am just cutting these down. I want to use the opening of it. So, and again, this was Pinterest inspired. And then I'm going to show you kind of how I, want to decorate it myself, how I came up with another idea. And I think, one thing I really love about Pinterest is the ideas spark, all those ideas spark more ideas for myself. So we could sew these for sure on either side, and we could have a pocket. You could have a tuck spot if you wanted to go ahead and sew or glue them on either side, and maybe have a floating pocket, cover the back, whatever you wanted to do. One thing I was thinking about though is, of course we're going to do some gluing, but just kind of decorating and using junk, and I'm going to go ahead and cut off this flap because I'm not going to use this one. You know what, let's just keep it. We'll use it as like a floating pocket, and I'll just kind of show you how I would go about doing that. Now here was my idea. One of them is, how do you get something perfect to line up in here? Well, you could grab a piece of paper, you could mark it, just kind of, or measure, maybe, and kind of get it to line up that way. You could have a larger piece of paper and then cut it down to line up as you went. Let's just say that we want this, because sometimes when I do little things like this. You just want something to be perfectly in that little window, and you know, how are we going to get that? So I'm just going to use this coffee day paper and say we put it right here. Say like that. And we'll just see if it's going to measure up. You know, it's not quite measured up. So if we want to, we can go ahead, you know, cut a ½ inch down or whatever, try it again, and see if that measures up. And it's easier to do that, you know, before you cut down all of your paper. Sorry about that. That was a phone call from my neighbor. The UPS dropped off a package at her house instead of our house. So Clint is napping right now, so I'll send him over later. It's about 500 feet or so, which isn't normally a bad thing, except right now we're getting tons of snow. So maybe he'll drive over, I don't know. He's been out kind of cleaning and stuff, the driveway all day, so thankfully we have a tractor and it's working, you know, so that's a good thing. Okay, but see, here is our little package. It's lined up perfectly in there. So that's one way to do it. You know, just kind of fiddle with it until it lines up the way you want it to. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit of glue. You know, you do lose a little bit of your pocket area when you glue inside. So, and then this should slide in there pretty nicely. If not, you know, just trim the sides until it fits. So that's kind of cute. I like that idea. And then you can decorate it however you want to. And, you know, I have a lot of like music paper, things like that. Let's kind of just decorate it because, you know, I'm not doing anything else today. But I want to show you how to make these guys from scratch, these things. You know, I tell you, Miss Gayle has said in recent videos, if you guys don't know who Gayle is, it's Gayle Agostinelli, and she is one of my biggest inspirations and a really sweet friend of mine. And she said, you know, sometimes she'll get something going through her head, an idea, and then she cannot go to sleep. And I tell you, I have had things like that recently, and I think maybe it's the series. But oh, I was thinking, I can't sleep, and you know, it doesn't help when you have something going through your mind. But really, neither my husband nor I sleep very late. I was kidding with my friend saying if I could sleep to 4 o'clock in the morning, that would be sleeping in for me, because I just don't sleep, and it's been that way for many years unless I'm, you know, have a muscle relaxer or something like that. So I'm just going to looking to see if I set out my corner chomper. I did. So I just am using minimal supplies today, and you know, you don't have to have a lot to do a junk journal, and I have been enjoying all of your comments so much. It's so fun to, you know, especially you newer junk journalers. I pay attention, I read every comment, and I try to respond to every comment. I was really surprised. I got like 40 some comments the other day, and you know, I'm thinking, oh, I'll always respond, but sometimes you know, it takes a lot of time and effort to respond. So just know that I do read everyone, and I do try to respond. I may not, you know, get a chance to, but I definitely read them. I read them to my husband and say, you know, honey, listen to this, or if it's a good one, if it's a bad one, I tell, you know, of course I tell him too. And, you know, I have really good subscribers or people who watch my videos. I don't get very many bad comments, but I'm just going to glue that down there. And I kind of just used my vintage photo distress ink. So I do have a link to that below if you're looking for some distress ink. Like I said, I just use Amazon pretty much because we live 30 some miles from town. And so, you know, we just do kind of what the easiest way for us is to order Amazon, and, you know, it's here in a day, maybe 2 days, and it's just really fast and it works for us. So I will try to have links below of, you know, everything. I kind of like that. I know it's really brown, but, you know, it's just kind of the look you're going for. So yeah, we're supposed to get another 20 inches of snow. And if I get a chance, it's cold right now, but if I get a chance, I will go and take some video behind the house because we have over 4-foot snow drifts. And you know, last year we didn't have hardly any snow. And this year we have quite a bit. And it's helped so much with because we were in like an extreme drought. So, okay, so let's just see what I want to put here, because I know I want to put something here. In fact, I think I'm going to go with this other piece and see if that would fit. This is the one that's on the inside also. And you know what? I think I'm going to put it on one side. And do that. And we will we'll kind of cover this side up. In fact, I have an idea, and I think I'll just use some of this washi tape that's on the inside. So if you're not familiar with washi tape, and you know, a lot of times I think about my sister because she, you know, she's a scrapbooker. She's not a junk journaler. She's not familiar really with washi tape or a lot of things that I do. But a washi tape is just like a paper tape. Sometimes some of it's kind of like a vellum-y kind of tape. And sometimes you can find it at the Dollar Tree, you know, for $1 and stuff, and it might not be the best thing, but if it sticks really well, you know, I think that looks kind of cute. You don't have to add additional glue, but if it doesn't, then you definitely want to add some glue. But I think that will work really well. That's kind of cute. I like that. And if I feel like it needs something else when I am sticking it in my journal, then I can. I think it'd be kind of cute to add some lace on the bottom. Something like that. In fact, I do have some lace still from yesterday's video. And you know what? I'm just going to pop that down. But, you know, I have noticed that my mind just works clearer and, you know, more, I don't know if it works clearer, but more creative when you're being creative. I just feel like that's what it is. And that's kind of what Miss Gayle had said is, you know, all of a sudden she was coming up with all these really awesome ideas. And she was laughing because she kept saying, you know, this is the only good idea I've had in the last year. And then she'll say, you know, I just came up with another good idea. So it's kind of funny how when you are kind of using your mind in that way, then you kind of become more creative. So, okay, so that's one way that you can, excuse me, have a envelope that has an open window. You know, I have These envelopes, this one is from a tax place, has my tax information, but it's such a huge fun window, and I think that would be fun to use. And then we have this one where we could have 2 windows if we wanted them. But I wanted to show you how I would do the same thing if I have no window envelopes. So I'm going back to this fun, huge book of paper. And this is kind of thin paper. It's not like cardstock. So I'm just going to find one that I think would be fun for like an open, you know, for a window box kind of thing. Let's do this one, mainly because I like the writing on it. I love this, but I'm trying to figure out how to, you know, kind of incorporate that into my design. Okay, so let's kind of cut this down. I think I'm going to cut this area here, and say I want to make like a 3x3 window envelope. So let me move some of my stuff here. I'm just going to cut this down 3 inches. Actually, I'm going to cut it down 3.5 inches. And then I want to cut it down to 6. Let's see. Sorry, I have to grab my glass. They've been kind of giving me headaches. So I just, 4, 5, 6, okay. Kind of give me like tension headaches, so I haven't really been using them very much. And let's kind of do like this. And then I am just going to just kind of guesstimate how far in I want these to fold these. And just probably about 1/2 inch. So once this is all folded up and everything, you know, you could put a window in here, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But I want to cut one of these down. So I have to figure out which one I want. Do I want the upside down butterfly? No, I guess I'll use this side. So I'm going to cut the back side off, and I'm just going to kind of cut a little V shape and go straight up. And the same on this side. And go straight up. And you know, it's kind of the same concept of a envelope. I mean, you could just do 2 sides together and glue them, but I really like kind of adding a little bit of extra room. So I'm just going to trim it down a little bit. It just, when I folded over the sides, it wasn't laying, you know, flat the way I felt like it should. Okay, so there's our little thing. I pulled out 2 punches that I thought would be fun to have an envelope shape or an open shape. And I was just going to see if this would work. If I did it like that, it would be upside down. So, and because that's the way it would be. So that one's not going to work. I didn't pull out my die cutting machine. You know, I have one of a little mason jar on my die cutting machine, and I could have easily used that. But what I'm going to do is just use this circle just to kind of give you an idea of how we can make these into our own little like peekaboo pockets. Right? Okay, so, and of course, if you're using something like this and you want, say we want to add additional paper in here and we want it to be the right size and we want to know, you know, exactly where we want to punch at, things like that, you can come in with a pencil or a pen or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and flip this over. That way when I, you know, kind of line it up, hopefully the hole will be exactly where I want it to be. And not that I really want a hole, but if I want to, well, let me show you. So I kind of got that. Let's punch that out. And maybe I wouldn't need it for this particular thing. If you wanted to punch a hole, then you could. And you just kind of line it up. Of course, I lined it. Didn't do it very well there. And I am just kind of lining it up with those dots that I kind of put. Okay. So say we want to keep this little piece and we want it to shine through. Using, I think I have some more coffee dye paper somewhere over here. Here it is. So I want to put this piece so that it comes through the paper. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this down real quick. And I think that'll probably go in pretty well. So if you have, you know, a specific picture, then and just match it up with your punch, and then you can kind of glue that down. So let's just see what we can do here. And the reason I'm doing this is just to kind of show you how to line up your pieces. But yeah, if you can get it to line up, and then when you slide it in, it will be a, you know, in the perfect spot. So that probably was not the best thing to use. So I had some like just like a protective folder, I guess that would be what it's called. And you know, I get a lot of this stuff at thrift stores and yard sales and things like that. So you can use some plastic that you already have around, whatever you want to do. But go ahead and then you can cover it up. I'm going to use this glue. I'm not sure how good the art glitter glue does for plastic. I have had some issues with it in the past, and I do find, you know, sometimes that double stick tape works better, but we'll use it for this. But that's the only only thing that I've had an issue with. So let's go ahead and glue this down our little sides, just to show you guys, you know, kind of what I'm talking about. And then, you know, like this, let's kind of maybe go around the outer edges so that that kind of peeks out more when you bring it in. Sorry, I kind of feel like I'm talking gibberish today. I think my mind's running faster than my hands. Okay, so I'm just going to trim this down just a little bit on this one side, and just a bare minimum, because it just wasn't going in there. But by adding the little by adding the little fold overs, then you have more room for your journaling card. So if you wanted a little note here and you want it to show up perfectly in your little plastic piece, then that's how you would go about it. You know, just before you put your plastic on, then just kind of make your little template, and you can do that. Let me just kind of write something here. Like, a road. And I know that because I'm writing on this, that it will fit in here perfect. So, because I, you know, accounted for that. Road to a friend's house is never long. Good job, Sammy. Good boy. Sorry, Sammy has a red ball and he sits over there and talks until somebody answers him. So let's just kind of do a little curly thing, you know, just to kind of finish it off. But I do know that when I go back and I put my little thing in here, then whatever I put in there, because of what, you know, how I did it, will fit in there perfectly, or pretty close to perfect, and you know, it lines up. And I really wanted to find a way to do that. Again, if I had a die, I could even make these easier, because if you guys aren't familiar with dies, they're really thin metal pieces, and you put them through a machine and they will cut out the shape that you want it to cut out. Again, I'm thinking about my sister because she does not really know about dies and stuff like that, you know, so I just kind of play to her sometimes when I'm thinking about the, you know, what I do, because, you know, she's always been a scrapbooker, and the first time I used the word ephemera, you know, in front of her, she was just like blown away that I knew something like that. So yeah, she's my little sister, but you know, I'm almost 50, so she's not that little. But that was just like a year or so ago. So let's just go ahead and cut this one down. Again, I am just cutting the back off away from the, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want it to lay pretty well. When you fold it down, you don't want it buckling, you know, or anything like that. So it's kind of buckling there. I mean, there's so much you could do with this little technique, and you know, I just thought it would be a fun way also to use up some of your scrapbook paper, things like that. That's kind of a fun little picture. So let's just see what we could do with this. Like I said, it would be upside down if we punched it here, because either way it would be, ooh, what about sideways? Let me see what I can do on this one. You know, and that's another thing, just, you know, get your goodies and your things and just see what you have, you know, that you can play with. Okay, so let's do that. And how fun is that? And then, you know, when I glue it together, you won't see anything. Okay, I like that. Again, I almost messed up. Okay, so let's get a different paper. just for fun. To show in here, maybe. Maybe this paper I think would be kind of fun. No. And let's kind of put that down. Put it down right there, and okay, so it'll be there, there, about right here. I don't know, I just grabbed a yucky old pen. It's kind of past its prime, I think. And now I'm just cutting that down. Good boy, Sammy. Good boy, Sammy. Good boy. Wish you guys could see him. He is so funny. He's over there with, I tell you, with a little, it's kind of like a clown nose, I think. And he loves that thing, so he'll come in like, look what I got. Oh, I tell you, our little critters. So I think this time I'm just going to put this piece right back in because it's just kind of fun. And, you know, if people don't know what you're doing, then might be a hidden little spot. Because when you look at it, it looks like it is made to be there. So, let's see, there we go. Good boy, Sammy. Sammy is our oldest little cat, and he's about 13, I think, now. So, he's getting up there, as far as cats go. And we brought him in when he was a little bitty baby. I know some of you are looking forward to seeing the video of the cats. So yesterday, this one lady, she was telling me she wanted to see the cats, you know. So I was telling her what had happened, and Cubby, which is the one that you guys always see, he's the one that flies through the kitchen and lands on you. Well, he was talking when I was in there. I think I was washing dishes or something, and he was talking, and my husband told him, you know, no, we're not going to play right now, because we're trying to teach him that there's a time to play and a time for him not to. And I was like 10 foot away from him, and usually that deters him because he's not, you know, he's kind of scared to jump that far. Well, yesterday he didn't mind jumping that far. I had my back to him, and I was about 10 foot away at the sink, and all of a sudden, I mean, my breath was knocked out of me, and he had jumped. And of course I didn't, you know, he didn't make a sound before he jumped or anything, so I had no clue that he was heading in my direction. But he jumped, knocked me into the sink, and knocked my breath away. It was and then, of course, you know, to finish it off, he hangs on to my back, so I got some good scratches from it. So we're really trying to be diligent about telling him no, and when we tell him no, we mean no, you know, because it's just not good. And, you know, if it was my mother-in-law or something, she's 20, 25 years older than we are, then, you know, it's just not a good circumstance. So that was my adventure from yesterday. So anyways, this is how this looks. Isn't that cute? It kind of lines up perfectly, and it has the little plastic there, but then there is a little flip, and I think you could put like a little finger hole here if you wanted to, maybe before you you know, stuck this in or glued it all together. Or you could put maybe like a piece of lace here. I think would be cute. But I thought these were fun, and I thought they were a fun idea, so I wanted to try these with you guys. I hope you like them. You know, I've seen some of you guys have just thrilled me to death by showing some of your interpretations on some things that I've shown, and you know, that just makes my day. I tell you, so much fun. So again, be sure and go back to Monday and watch that video. I believe it was the ephemera video from day 6, and if you haven't seen that already. And then on Sunday we'll be having a giveaway because of all that. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I hope you guys are enjoying the snow. We are having quite a bit right now. So we might be, you know, in for the long haul. We did get out yesterday and went grocery shopping, so I'm kind of behind on making my videos, but we're safe. We have milk, food, toilet paper. We're good. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for all of your sweet comments, and we will see you in the next video. You guys have a wonderful day, and be sure and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.